1966 was a very controversial time for the Oscars because a period piece won Best Picture, Man for All Seasons, but the movie that should have won was this one, and it wasn't even nominated for Best Picture. We're going to talk about one of the most exciting action movies in the 1960s with an all Macho Man cast: Burt Lancaster, Lee Marvin, Robert Ryan, and Jack Palance. Of course, that has to be that thrill-a-minute The Professionals. Now, The Professionals came out in 66, an American Western set in the last years of the First World War and the Mexican War. It was produced, written, and directed by Richard Brooks, and starred Burt Lancaster, Lee Marvin, Robert Ryan, the great Woody Strode, Jack Palance, and of course a young Claudia Cardinal. And Ralph Bellamy also had a big supporting role. The script was adapted from the 1964 novel A Mule for the Marquesa by Frank O'Rourke. Now, the film received 3 Oscar nominations and an enthusiastic critical reception. It also got a Best Picture nom at the Golden Globes. Now, it's an exciting plot. In the final years of the Mexican Revolution, American rancher J.W. Grant hires 4 men, who are all experts in respective fields, to rescue his kidnapped wife, Maria, from Jesus Reza, a former revolutionary leader turned bandit. Henry Rico Fardan is a weapons specialist. Bill Dalward is an explosives expert. Hans Enrigard is the horse wrangler. And Jake Sharp is a traditional Apache scout, skilled with a bow and arrow. Fardan and Dalwood, having been both followed the command of Pancho Villa, have a high regard for Raza as a soldier, but as cynical professionals, they have no qualms about killing him. After entering Mexico, they witness soldiers on a government train being massacred by Raza's small army. They follow the captured train to the end of the line. After the bandits leave, they take the train before coming onto the camp, where they observe Raza and his followers, including a female soldier, Chiquita, who had once been in a relationship with Dalward. At nightfall, Fardan infiltrates the camp, but he's stopped from killing Raza in his quarters. After witnessing the beautiful Maria, Grant's kidnapped wife, about to willingly make love with Raza, Dalward is forced to conclude, "We've been had." After bringing Maria back to the train, a shootout starts because it's been retaken by the bandits. Pursued by Raza and his friend, the professionals are forced to take refuge in nearby canyon lands. That night, Maria reveals that they haven't rescued Grant's kidnapped wife, but rather Raza's lover, that Grant had bought her in arranged marriage, for which she escaped at her earliest opportunity to return to her true love in Mexico. The following day, Maria hops on a horse and rides off through the narrow canyons to rejoin Raza, but Dalward sets off explosives he had planted in the canyon walls, which collapse and close off the canyon, preventing her escape. As Raza and his remaining men close in, Dalward volunteers to stay behind to allow the other professionals to escape with Maria. In the ensuing fight, Raza is wounded and captured, and Dalward is almost killed by a dying Chiquita, whose pistol has run out of bullets. Whoa. Grant and his own 2 men meet the professionals with Raza and Maria at the U.S. border. The wealthy rancher tells Fardan that their contract has been satisfactorily concluded. He then orders one of his men to kill the wounded Raza. But before he can fire, Dalward shoots the guns from his hand. The other professionals step in to protect Maria and Raza. They collect the wounded Raza, laying him back in a horse-drawn wagon, and with Maria at the reins, send both back to Mexico. Grant angrily turns to Fardan and says, "You bastard," to which Fardan retorts, "Yes, sir, but in my case, an accident of birth. But you, sir, you are a self-made man." The professionals then ride off, following the wagon across the border to Mexico, setting up a possible sequel, but never came about. Maurice Jarre did a great job with the music, by the way. And what really stands out for me is Woody Strode as Jake Sharp, a black man playing an Apache. Strode was often typecast, but Jack Palance and Jesus Raza really puts it together. Now, the movie, which was shot in Technicolor, was filmed in Death Valley in the Coachella Valley in California, as well as the Valley of Fire State Park in Nevada. The rail scenes were filmed on Kaiser Steel's Eagle Mountain Railroad, and the steam locomotive seen in the movie currently resides on the Heber Valley Railroad. Now, during filming, the cast and crew stayed in Vegas. Strode wrote in his memoirs that he and Marvin got into a lot of pranks, on one occasion shooting an arrow into Vegas Vic, the famous singing cowboy neon sign outside the Pioneer Club. Now, by 1976, it was estimated that the film had earned 8.8 million rentals, and modern figures say 15 million. It was very big in France as well in 1966. Variety wrote of the film, The Professionals is a well-made actioneer set in 1717 on the Mexican-U.S. border, in which some soldiers of fortune rescued a reportedly kidnapped wife of an American business. Again, on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a rating of 89% based on reviews from 18 critics. Now, it's best to see this movie in an IMAX format or a widescreen because the cinematography is just tremendous. And of course, it has to be Conrad L. Hall did a very good job here. Now, awards. Academy Awards. Brooks got Best Director and Best Screenplay nomination. Best Cinematography. Conrad did a great job, of course. American Cinema Editor Awards, nominated for Best Edited Feature Film. Director Guild of America Awards, Outstanding Directorial Achievement in Motion Pictures, Brooks. Golden Globes, Best Motion Picture and Most Promising Newcomer, Maria Gomez. Golden Screen Awards, it won the top award. Laurel Awards won Top Action Drama and Top Action Performance by Lee Marvin. The Turkish Film Critics Association called it Best Foreign Film, and the Writers Guild of America nominated Brooks for Best Written American Drama. But a lot of people believe that the Oscars weren't going to give many nominations to this because 66 was a very strange year because you had these niche movies, independents and otherwise. But the first time I saw The Professionals, it was, 1974. And I thought for sure this movie was going to be re-released. It seemed to be a movie better for the 70s and the 60s. I think if this movie was done in the early 70s, it would make much more money. But this was a precursor to Butch Cassidy, The Wild Bunch, movies of that genre, even Easy Rider, The Fellowship, The Bromance. But any movie that has Jack Palance, Woody Strode, Lee Marvin, and Burt Lancaster, and Robert Ryan, it's a man's movie. Very, very, very masculine movie, but a very heterosexual Western, as we say. So if you're liking what you're doing here, we're a vintage Western podcast of movies in the 1960s. Let us know what to like, comment, subscribe, or share. Bye.